Tower of Grey, the first actual enemy stand in Stardust Crusaders, and probably also the shortest arc ever. Hello everyone, my name is TheNadei, and this is my first ever stand analysis and discussion video on an enemy stand. This little bugger was an odd choice for the Crusaders' first real enemy. But to be fair, starting all the way down only meant we could go up from here, I think. As always, origins, design, personality, stand sets, abilities, appearances and trivia will be covered. But now, let's look at the stag's origins. Disaster, destruction, upheaval, trauma, sudden change, chaos. Averting disaster, delaying the inevitable, resisting change, or fear of suffering. Those are the words describing the card of chaos, the tower. This description was even used in the fight itself, to emphasize how screwed the Crusaders are. Well, that didn't go well, did it? The card fits the user and stand, with the backstory and their role in the story, but yeah. Tell me in the comments what you think. I have no knowledge on the subject whatsoever. It's a fly. And a xenomorph. Yay! But in all seriousness, Tower of Grey is a natural non-humanoid stand that looks like a large stag beetle about the size of a person's hand, with intricate wave patterns on its shell. A hidden secondary jaw can spring out from its mouth, and despite having the gyro form of a beetle, it also possesses teeth in both of its mouths. It has tons of colors throughout all the media, but its base appearance is grey to black, like the name suggests. Its eyes vary between shades of red and brown, with blue to black and even magenta colored patterns. Outside of its user's sadistic and sociopathic personality and his tendency to bow through a stand, there is no personality portrayed by Tower of Grey, not like a bug would be able to emote anyway. Here we go again. As we all notice throughout this part, their enemy stands usually have pretty crappy stats. And as this stand is the very first true enemy, his stats suffered especially. Anyway, Tower of Grey has a destructive power of what? It showed that it's capable of penetrating Star Platinum's gauntlets and hands. Something usually seemingly immune to any impacts. I'll just say it like this. Tower of Grey's true strength is its speed, in which it has an alien. This allows it to pierce through things with enough speed to carve through flesh and bone, which makes it seem like it should be way stronger in the power department, but it's actually just so fast that its relatively weak attacks become really dangerous. And of course allows it to avoid most attacks, such as Star Platinum's, or apparently multiple guns at close range. It has an A in range, as it's likely able to move at the very least throughout a Japanese Boeing 747-100 BSR, which is roughly 70.6 meters long. This stat also implies that its tongue can probably go pretty far, but I highly doubt it's as long as a Boeing 747, and instead probably just at the most about 5 meters. Its persistence is a C. That just means the stand can stay up for a while. But because of its fragile small body, a single real hit is probably enough to take it or its jaw out for good. Of course, it also means the ability to reuse its second jaw is a bit slow. Its precision is an E, which is quite weird because we've seen it be really precise, both in offense and defense. But whatever. I guess the stat actually is inaccurate outside of the straightforward jaw hit. Its potential is an E, because it's a villain stand and also literally just a fast beetle! Tower of Grey is a long-range stand that has two main abilities that perfectly fit the small and fragile stand. Its most obvious and strongest trait is its incredible speed, which far surpasses Star Platinum's fists and Hierophant Green's Emerald Splash, at least in a close environment, like a plane that is. Like stated earlier, the user himself stated that it could evade multiple point-blank range gunshots with ease. This trait allows Tower of Grey to be nearly invulnerable to direct attacks and can only be taken out by wide range or sneak attacks. Its defining ability, however, is its secondary jaw, the Tower Needle. The Tower Needle is an extendable inner jaw, not unlike a xenomorph's. It has enough force to tear flesh apart or pierce its way right through it. Combined with its great speed, Tower of Grey is capable of killing multiple people in a very short amount of time, and even go through the head of a person with ease. But the jaw's strength mostly comes from it shooting out and piercing through, so slowing it down with, say, your jaw, will reduce the damage taken by it a lot. In the anime, we see an anime-only scene showing Tower of Grey flying around the plane at the end of the 3rd episode. This doesn't make too much sense considering it seemingly comes from the front, and considering the following scene portrayed in the actual manga, there is no reason for it to do so. Well, whatever, let's just move on. In Chapter 9, Head to Egypt, the beetle flies out of the cockpit, where it has already killed the pilots inside. We don't see it being anywhere first outside of the anime-only moment, so it can be assumed Greyfly's primary objective was to crash the plane. After that, he attempts to take care of the Crusaders, or buy enough time for him to leave the plane before the crash. Either way, Tower of Grey makes itself shown to the Crusaders and JoJo attempts to grab it. It evades all the attacks and goes in for an attack of its own, shooting its tower Neil at Star Platinum. It pierces right through his hand and is barely stopped by Star Platinum's jaw, causing him to bleed slightly. Star Platinum strikes back by unleashing an Aura rush at Tower of Grey and the Tower Needle, destroying the needle temporarily and giving the Crusaders a second chance to strike. Tower of Grey was able to dodge all of the hits and shortly disappears from the Crusaders' view. The moment they find it again, it attacks 4 innocent civilians, flying through their skull, ripping their tongues out and piercing them onto its Tower Needle. After that, the stand writes the word massacre at the wall, warning the Crusaders about what's going to happen. After loses it and summons Magician's Red to kill the bug, but Kakyoin stops him because, while yes, Magician's Red would almost certainly defeat it, the flames would also destroy the plane and harm everyone inside. Greyfly tries to use this opportunity to leave and cause panic, but that plan is ruined by Kakyoin, who quickly knocks him out and holds him back, like always. Or at least he thinks he does. Greyfly continues using Tower of Grey to taunt Kakyoin's inability to fight him head-on. Kakyoin accepts the challenge, as they need a quiet and discreet stand to take on this fierce enemy. So Kakyoin goes ahead and screams Emerald Splash with full force out of his lungs and unleashes a gigantic attack against the enemy. Remember, be discreet and silent, Kakyoin. He gets what he deserves for this stupid move, and Tower of Grey shoots his Tower Needle in the Hierophant Green's mask, revealing his mouth. Hierophant Green and Kakyoin lay on the ground, seemingly defeated. They fire a final Emerald Splash at Tower of Grey, which it once again evades, and starts its Tower Needle again to go for the kill. But Kakyoin planned ahead and launches its tendrils from behind his seats to strike Tower of Grey, killing it for good, losing the fight for Greyfly. And literally cutting the tongue and skull of Greyfly. I can see the symbol, but it's great. I don't think we ever saw that stuff again. Tell me in the comments below if we do. Anyway, this is it. The stand is mentioned from time to time again, and I guess we get to see the aftermath of its assault against the pilots, but other than that, we're done. But I do want to talk about something else though. It's the reason why Part 3 took place. Be it for the better or worse, Tower of Grey was a calamity that created a disaster that made the Crusaders not use any planes in the future. It was the start of the journey, and to be honest, its tarot card is so accurate that it is truly terrifying. I wish Araki was accurate with all others, but I genuinely think that this stand is one of the best in JoJo. Not from its strength or speed standpoint or from its ability, but from a meaning standpoint. From an impact standpoint, Tower of Grey is probably the single most important stand after the world in this part. I truly hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. This stand should not be remembered for its powers, but it should be remembered for its meaning and impact in the story of JoJo as a whole. I mean, I get why people look down on it, because the arc itself isn't the most exciting, and the anime somehow turned 2 chapters into a full-on bloody episode. But anyway, sorry for going off topic, let's go to its trivia. In JoJo A Go-Go, Araki noted this about Tower of Grey. I started with some of the less popular tarot cards for the enemies. The idea came from how annoying it would be if a bug got inside an airplane, but the meaning of this card is a pretty scary one. The plane crash the Tower of Grey is said to have caused in England may be a reference to the Pan Am Flight 103 disaster, in which a plane flying over Britain was bombed and crashed into the ground, killing 270 people. The attack happened in 1988, the year the events of Stardust Crusaders take place. And here we go. Tower of Grey is finished. A stand such as this usually gets swept under the rug. So I'm glad that I could do it some justice, I think. Also, we reached 450 subscribers, which is insane. Like, imagine 450 individual people pressing that button and actually watching these videos? Man, I'm glad some people enjoy these. The next videos are all gonna be about 3 of the remaining Crusaders. Each will take ages to make, but after that we should be able to get back to a regular schedule again. See you in the next one. Bye bye!
スタンドが生と知っているなら俺には挑むまい。貴様のスピードでは俺を捉えることはできん。そうか。エメラルドフラッシュ。お前な、数打ちゃ当たるという発想だろうが、ちっとも当たらんぞ。歌教員